באדוני. מי יקום במקום קודשו? מי יקרא בשם אדוני צבאות? מי יצום על מוח חטא? מי יחזיק מעמד? מי ישמע את קול אדוני כהן ואומר? זהו דור נושע, מבקשי פניי ישרים לי. כל הכבוד, כל הכבוד. זהו דור נושע, מבקשי פניי ישרים לי. כל הכבוד. במקום קודשו ונקרא בשם אדוני צבאות. ונצום על מוח חטא ונחזיק מעמד ונשמע את קול אדוני כהן ואומר. זהו דור נושע, מבקשי פניי ישרים לי. כל הכבוד, כל הכבוד. זהו דור נושע, מבקשי פניי ישרים לי. כל הכבוד, 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 כל הכבוד לך על מה שעשית, על מה שאתה עושה, על מה שעוד תעשה. אבא, אבא טוב, אבא טוב. כי הברוך נקרא ואנחנו מתקרבים אל תוך הקודש, קודש הקודשים. הפרוכת נקרא ואנחנו מתקרבים אל תוך הקודש, קודש הקודשים. הפרוכת נקרא ואנחנו מתקרבים אל תוך הקודש. אבל מאמינים שהפרוכת נקרא ואנחנו מתקרבים אל תוך הקודש, בקודש הקודשים. כל הכבוד, כל הכבוד, כל הכבוד, כל הכבוד. אנחנו דור שם, מבקשי פניו שרים לו כל הכבוד, כל הכבוד. אנחנו דור שם, מבקשי פניו שרים כל הכבוד.
You're live. I was busy.
Hi everybody, Shaloha. Good to see you all today. It's quite a gloomy, rainy day here in Hawaii, or on Oahu anyway. Been spending a pretty good amount of time studying today and relaxing, so not sure what it's like on your part of the world, but I've seen some really crazy reports going on in all over the mainland, especially California. It seems like California's got so much happening right now as far as flooding, snowing. I'm not sure exactly what else, but maybe Clark, you could put in the chat what's going on in that part of California. And for the rest of you guys, we're just so happy to meet with you guys today. And I think we'll open up in prayer. Hopefully Noble will be joining us. He has been relaxing a lot today, and I know he had some announcements to make at the end of class. So if you can hang in there. I'm going to be teaching today about different nutritional protocols using our diets to get the minerals and the supplements that we need. So let's open in prayer. Dear Father God, we thank you so much for bringing everyone here today to learn with us today and to help us to care for our temples better, Father God. We ask that you just bring those who need to hear this message here today, and please speak through me, Father God. Please be with all of the technology so we can spread this message worldwide. And thank you for blessing Isaac as well. So he's so wonderful at running all our technology for us. And we ask it, all of this in Yeshua's name. Amen. Okay. So if you can direct, you can probably see Isaac in the background a little there. He's doing some chord adjustment for me. I'm looking at the chat here too, because Noble hasn't joined us yet. So I'm just going to take a look real quick. Tammy says, freezing, snowing, and no electricity here today. My goodness. What about the rest of you guys? Did you guys have electricity outages going on? I saw Clark said something about a planned electrical outage happening in his area of the world. It's great to see all you guys in the chat. Thank you so much again to all of our moderators. We're going to move into an area that might be a little bit touchy. This was a really huge challenge for me several years ago when I decided that I was so tired of just being in pain and being on pain medication that I met a naturopath here in Hawaii, and he's a believer in the Most High God, and he gave some really good tips as far as changing my diet and eating foods that were healing instead of eating foods that were basically killing me. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. If you could direct your attention, Isaac, is this, okay, it's up, all right. So we're going to start with complex carbs. You can see here on the screen, there's a difference when somebody says you're eating too many carbs. This was a huge challenge I had at the beginning, because one of the first questions, besides asking me to journal all of the foods that I was eating every day, what my naturopath did, is he asked me to explain to him the difference between complex carbohydrates and simple carbohydrates. Because he said, it seems like I was eating way more simple carbohydrates and not enough complex. So here's some examples. You can see these are all natural, of course. Oats, purple sweet potatoes, or we call them Okinawan sweet potatoes here, buckwheat, butternut squash, lentils, beans, brown rice, and 100% whole wheat pasta, or else there's also pasta made with legumes, like lentil pasta. Those are really excellent for you too. And quinoa, right? This is a whole list you have here with pictures of complex carbs. So let's take a look at simple carbs. Now these look a lot, to me, these were made to look extremely attractive, but they did so through the large manufacturers here in the U.S. and worldwide, especially in the U.S. it seems. And they took things that started out good and they made them like really bad for us by adding all kinds of chemicals, food colorings. You can see here that this is an example of simple carbs, and this is from a website called Change Begins With You. You can see that listed there below it. So simple carbs start with soda, cakes, cereals, sugar, fruit juice, white bread and pasta, candy, pastries, honey, and corn syrup. All right, now honey was kind of surprising for me because I always thought, that's a really good substitute for sugar, and it is. But you have to make sure you get raw honey, and you have to know that it's not made by a large corporation, because some of the corporations have been tricking us for the past few decades at least, and instead of actually putting 100% honey into the containers, they're adding corn syrup, which is a lot cheaper to make, and it's horrible for you. So be very careful where you get your honey. There's several local bee colonies here on the west side of Oahu that we're aware of, and some of our friends actually brought us some macadamia nut honey, which was really good. Just find the ones that are local for your area, and then you can make sure you're getting not corn syrup, you're getting 100% raw honey. Okay, so that's just one of the points. If you look at the rest, it's kind of the simple carbs. You just have to look for things that the stores, especially grocery stores, are promoting. Like, what do you see at the end of the aisles? What do you see on the aisles that are the brightest, that have all the advertisements for it? That's where all the simple carbs are at. And we need to stay away from those. So here, there's a little chart. So you're going to eat the right carbs, eat less of these on the left-hand side, and more of these on the right-hand side. And so it's basically, you can just see the difference. Even like that donut on the bottom left, you know for sure that pink is not a natural color. That's most likely from red 40 dye. And everything else on the left has just so much sugar and corn syrup and artificial sweeteners all incorporated into that. That's all by design, to break our bodies down so we don't live as long and that we get sick a lot easier. That's the goal, which is a horrible goal, but that is part of the elite agenda here. Okay, the next issue I had when I was trying to weed out all of the really bad simple carbs that I was eating in my diet was that I would start craving them because I was so used to having them. I was so used to eating Oreos, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Sometimes that would just be a meal because I wasn't really hungry a lot, but I would drink quite a bit of caffeine in soda during the day when I was working. And then at night, I was usually too tired to make any dinner, so we'd either get takeout, either from a fast food place or something I could just heat up in the microwave, eat it, and then finish it off with maybe some Ben & Jerry's half-baked ice cream and go to sleep. But anyway, so let's look at these cravings. So if you're craving chocolate, that's something I crave all the time. That's a signal in your body that you need more magnesium. And I'm going to be talking about all different types of magnesium that are out there today that I've found that it really does help decrease your craving for chocolate. But if you really feel like you want to eat chocolate, of course, You can have raw cacao. There's cacao powder, nuts, seeds, veggies, and fruits because of the sweetness. And you could look at some recipes and see what you can substitute with cacao as far as instead of chocolate, you could use raw or cacao powder. Mix it with coconut oil. That's one of the things I do. And maple syrup to sweeten it instead of white sugar or corn syrup. The next craving would be sugary foods. That's something I think all of us have craved at one point. I recently found out about the thing that's on the top here, chromium. Chromium is an amazing supplement. I actually just got some a couple weeks ago. This is called chromium picolinate, all right? Now, chromium will actually help when you feel like I used to feel like I was getting so dizzy if I felt like I need to eat, but I'm nauseous, I don't want to eat anything, and it was just I felt like I was going to faint all the time. Well, I started taking this, and it's really helped a lot. It helps to keep your blood sugar stable, so you don't have like that roller coaster up and down where you feel really good for a little bit, and then it crashes, and you feel like you want to eat something really sweet again. Another supplement is carbon, and that can be in the form of fresh fruit. Oh, by the way, chromium can be found with broccoli, grapes, cheese, and chicken. But if you don't have all that available readily, and if you're not hungry like I wasn't, this is a good substitute. Just take it straight in a supplement. All right. The next one is phosphorus. Phosphorus is something is definitely a chemical we need in our body, a supplement, and we can get the phosphorus in the form of chicken, beef, fatty fish, eggs, dairy, nuts, veggies, and grains. Okay, the next one is sulfur. Sulfur in the diet, if you're having craving for sugary food, you can have cranberries, horseradish, cabbage, cauliflower. And I haven't even heard of this last one. I need to research this one. Tryptophan. That's another thing that we need to have in our diets, especially if we crave sugary foods. You can find that in cheese, raisins, sweet potatoes, and spinach. So there's some pretty good ideas that you can find if you're craving sugar like I am. Another thing that some people crave is bread. This is bread. Most bread that you get at the store, like white bread, white pasta, all of that, like Noble's touched on before, is that these white foods are just really not good for you, and they'll turn to sugar in your stomach. That's why it's on this list, and that's why we'll crave it too, because it's like a good substitute for our body to have more sugar, like what it's craving, but we need nitrogen. If you're craving those things, bread, pasta, and other carbohydrates, not necessarily sweet ones, nitrogen can be found in high protein foods such as meat, fatty fish, nuts, beans, and chia seeds. Okay, then there's oily foods. Some people crave oily foods, like you just want to have it deep fried, French fries, onion rings, anything you can think of that's deep fried. And most likely, we've studied this before, these are fried in canola oil if you're getting this from a fast food place, and most restaurants, at the very least, it would be like vegetable oil, but most likely canola oil because it's so much cheaper. And you can substitute for these oily foods by getting more calcium in your diet and having milk, cheese, green leafy vegetables. All right. The last one on this list, this chart here, is salty foods. Some people start craving salty foods. That means your body needs chloride and silicon, and you can get that from fatty fish, goat milk, cashews, nuts, and seeds. All right. So there's some things. Yes, Isaac.
I noticed that a lot of the substitutes are nuts. And Dad did a study a couple weeks back about nuts.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true. No, that's a good point. I think everything in moderation is what we're saying. You know, I wouldn't just cut out all the nuts, but you know, if you eat it in moderation, it'll help you get the minerals and supplements you need. I mean, I wouldn't make like I just saw in chat here, somebody's been eating a lot of peanuts. I think, I didn't see who was writing that. Did you see that, Isaac? But you know, peanuts can be great as a snack, or you know, to help stabilize your blood sugar. Yeah, brick. So that's a good idea. It's just that you don't want to have that like for your every single meal. You know, some people just go overboard and they think this is a food that's great for me. I'm going to eat this breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then the next thing I know, they're lacking in all these other nutrients that one thing isn't providing. So
what about peanut butter?
Peanut butter, yeah. Make sure you get the organic. And if you could get peanuts that are grown locally without all of the junk that's in them, because Those peanut shells are some of the major ones that will absorb all that Monsanto junk that they're putting in everything grown now. So just be very careful. If you could find organic, that's even better. It's not a total guarantee that it's not going to have Monsanto because it's kind of leached into a lot of the ground in places where people would grow peanuts. But I noticed when I ate peanuts in a different country, I think we were in Italy, I ate some and they just tasted way better than they do here in the US. It's kind of like a typical thing. But yeah, I mean, it's a good way to balance your blood sugar. That's one thing for sure. And to get some protein instead of meat. Okay, this was another struggle that I had. I love to eat after 8 p.m. just because I feel like I'm kind of finally awake by that time. I'm very much of a night person. These are things that, and Isaac works nighttime, so he's kind of on a different schedule than the rest of us here. But this is mainly for people that sleep by midnight or 11 p.m. midnight. If you have cravings after 8 p.m., don't do what I did and go buy some Ben & Jerry's ice cream and just down the whole thing, because you're not going to have a good night rest after that. I can tell this from experience, okay? Some of the better things you can eat, and again, we have the peanut butter here. Apple with peanut butter, that will help to stabilize your blood sugar and also stabilize your cravings. Greek yogurt.
Nest.
I don't know what this
they
is
flip
even.
the T and the S.
Oh, nuts. I was going to say, what is
Nest.
that? Okay, so there's another example of having nuts. You know, like Isaac and I were saying earlier, Noble's taught on, you know, the dangers of having different kind of nuts in your diet, but I think that's if you're eating like huge amounts of them. If you just have them here and there, it's not too bad, especially if you get organic. Also vegetables, popcorn. Popcorn is, make sure you get the organic one too, because if you're getting the microwave butter popcorn that I used to be able to eat an entire bag of for lunch, it's probably not a good idea. Avocados, those are awesome. Dark chocolate and blueberries. Okay. I'm going to go over a few recipes you guys can do, just because sometimes salads, they just kind of tend to get old, and then, oh, do we have a question?
What about apple skins?
Oh, apple skins, yeah. I would peel the apples just to make sure, just because they're spraying everything. Unless you are growing the apples yourself, or you know the farmer who's growing them is organic and doesn't spray like crazy, the apple skins will absorb all of that toxins. That's why it's kind of better to eat fruit if you could find like bananas that have a very thick skin on it, because there's less chance of the chemicals leaching into those fruits. And if you do eat berries, make sure they're organic again, and make sure you wash them. I usually put a little bit of baking soda in if I'm trying to wash blueberries or strawberries, just to like get whatever chemical is in there out of it and make it more alkaline. So that's just a suggestion. Okay, so I see some people are craving sugar here in the chat as well. I'm glad I'm not the only one. This is a superfood sprout salad. Okay, we recently discovered that because we used to eat avocado, because we used to eat alfalfa sprouts and clover sprouts quite a bit with our salads, we wanted to change it up a little bit. So we discovered that broccoli sprouts are actually the top sprouts that have the most nutrients in it. So those are things you can actually throw in your smoothies that'll add more nutrients. You don't have to always eat it in a salad. You could actually, as long as you don't cook it or heat it up, you can put it in any other kinds of food. I like it in the smoothie just because it's there, you're drinking it, and you don't have to chew it and wonder what it's going to taste like. So here's another one. You can add some blueberries to the salad. You could add lemon juice, almond butter, carrots, and baby spinach. All right, that's one thing we learned too from our naturopath is if you're going to eat spinach, make sure the spinach is cooked. But if it's not cooked, baby spinach is another alternative that's pretty good for you. And again, we're going to talk about magnesium later on. So as Noble's taught before, if you're going to consume some of these foods, it's always good to do so with a supplement of magnesium so that you avoid any of the other side effects that Noble's talked about before. Okay, 9 powerful ways to curb sugar cravings. This is from The Food Babe, one of my favorite bloggers on Instagram, and I know Terry Todd follows her as well. Hopefully the rest of you could find her on Instagram, and she's got really good posts. She puts up at least one a day, and they all have excellent information. So let's go over these. The number one is turmeric. Turmeric is excellent for if you have a lot of inflammation or if you're in pain. My chiropractor recently told me to start taking turmeric capsules. We already put it in the tea. Isaac puts it in, you put it in your tea, right? When you're making your tea in the morning, turmeric.
When I did drink tea.
Oh, okay. Isaac's not drinking tea anymore. So we're putting turmeric in our food too. If we make a casserole or if we make beef stroganoff or anything that's fried, we always throw some turmeric in there. Number 2, flat sparkling water. So drink a lot of water. You need, according to my naturopathy, this really was enlightening because I was always just going on the 8 cups of water a day. But it's actually based on your weight. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you drink equivalent of that in water in ounces. So 100 pounds, 100 ounces of water. And like it has on here, flat sparkling water. I would actually say alkaline water, just because flat sparkling water, a lot of people, if you're sharing this with somebody, they're not going to know what that means. So I would definitely get an alkaline water pitcher. If you can afford it, get the alkaline water machine to make sure that the water that you're intaking to keep your body alive is pure as possible. All right, apple cider vinegar, green juice without the fruit, coconut oil, bone broth, sea vegetables like seaweed, low sugar fruit, which is like blackberries, blueberries, and plain yogurt with coconut. So these are some good options. If you're having a sugar craving, you can look at this list and choose something that looks pretty good, and hopefully after you eat it, you won't be craving sugar as much. All right, these are hidden sugar bombs in fast food. How many of you are still eating fast food? I hope not too many of you after watching our show. We've totally stopped eating fast food in the past 2 years or so. When was the last time you had fast food?
4 years ago.
Isaac had fast food 4 years ago. So it's really good. If you can do it for at least the first few months, you might stop craving it as much because of all the sugar that they put in it to make you want to keep coming back to eat at Burger King and McDonald's and Taco Bell and all those places. So speaking of McDonald's, look at this first one. McDonald's Spicy Deluxe Crispy Chicken Sandwich, 10 grams of sugar. That's a huge amount. Wendy's Apple Pecan Chicken Salad. So it sounds like it's healthy because they put the word salad in there, right? But they don't tell you that the lettuce is most likely GMO, all the other vegetables in there as well. The salad dressing, look at 33 grams of sugar. That's a huge amount. You might as well eat a candy bar for that, okay? Then there's the Arby's roast turkey and Swiss sandwich, 12 grams of sugar. These are like foods that aren't even supposed to be sweet. Then there's the McDonald's oatmeal with toppings, 31 grams of sugar again, between all of that GMO fruit and the sugar and probably corn syrup they're putting in there. Then there's the Chick-fil-A grilled chicken club sandwich, 12 grams sugar. And the last one is the Panera teriyaki chicken and broccoli, and that is 27 grams of sugar. So just so I know it's hard to read labels in fast food, but if you look at the Food Babe, she covers a ton of different fast food restaurants. So if you have any questions about what you're eating from these restaurants, she'll have information. And you can go to her Instagram page. Okay, so here's some seasoning swaps, because a lot of the seasonings that you buy, especially from like McCormick or Lori's, they all have some weird type of chemicals in there, and especially to make you continue to buy that brand, they'll put MSG or they'll put some natural flavorings that we're not even sure what they are. And so instead of these, on the left-hand side, these are like the major brands. You could go try the organic ones. They're close to the same price, and they're a lot higher quality that you'll be putting in your body. The first one is called Noble Made all-purpose seasoning. You guys can't forget that one, okay? Then there's Simply Organic Lemon Pepper, Simply Organic Garlic Herb, and Noble Made Classic Steak there at the bottom. So these are just a few ideas. I haven't personally tried the Noble Made ones, but I've tried the Simply Organic. Those ones are good. So you could just look online or go to your local health food store and you can look for these brands here. All right. Speaking of McDonald's, it's getting close to St. Patrick's Day, and they are back with their Shamrock Shake, but you do not need to drink it. I mean, it looks really good. Green is my favorite color. I would have probably rushed to go buy one of these about 5 or 6 years ago, but not anymore. Look at the ingredients, and as usual, the Food Babe outlines and colors red the ones that we really need to look at here. So look at what the third ingredient is. It's corn syrup. That right there should be enough of a red flag to just say no, okay? Or no for your children too. Then there's natural flavors, which we have no idea what that means. Mono and diglycerides, cellulose gum, carrageenan, and then you can look at what's in the parentheses there. High fructose corn syrup, not just corn syrup, but high fructose. It's like the worst possible kind. If you're eating that, you're eating moldy corn. Corn syrup, and there's natural flavors again. Xanthan gum, sodium benzoate, that's a preservative. Yellow 5, blue 1, mono and diglycerides, more natural flavors, and more carrageenan. So, yeah, I think we need to say no to Shamrock Shake, or for that matter, anything that comes out of McDonald's at this point. And Campbell's as well. We actually know one of the heiresses of the Campbell's brand. Isaac and I met her for a while ago. She's the daughter of one of my friends. So here's Campbell's SpaghettiOs. This is what they say. 1 cup of microwave pasta has 1/2 a cup of vegetables and 4 essential nutrients for a healthy snack or lunch. This is what SpaghettiOs is saying about their own brand. They have 4 essential nutrients. Okay, so 1/2 a cup of vegetables.
Only
What kind of
4?
vegetables are these? What?
Only 4?
I know, right? One of them is tomato puree. That is one of their vegetables. I'm looking on this list for any other vegetables. Maybe vegetable oil they're counting there. But they're liars. They just are trying to get this food out there. They put these beautiful commercials during your child's TV watching time, if your child is allowed to watch TV. And it just makes them crave it. When they see other children eating it, they think, okay, this is a good thing to eat, and it's really not. Okay, I went on a website that was recommended by the Food Babe called Ask the Dentist on Instagram, and he had an interesting thing to do with turmeric. He was saying that mouthwash, if you look at the ingredients in your average Scope mouthwash, or even for children, there's corn syrup, there's sweeteners, there's coloring, there's so much junk in that mouthwash. It's better you don't even wash your mouth.
You heard that, Kaylee?
Okay, so here's the ingredients. You can make your own if you have turmeric, all right, and these other ingredients. 1/2 teaspoon calcium carbonate, 1/2 teaspoon L-arginine, 1/2 teaspoon turmeric. And for the first 2, you can find those at your local health food store in the vitamin and supplement section. You can just ask for those first 2. 3 to 4 cloves soaked in 1 cup of hot water for at least an hour or up to 24 hours. 1/2 teaspoon baking soda and 1 cup water. Now, if you want to make it just really simple and you don't have to get all of these things, I usually just use baking soda in warm water, and you can just do a rinse, and that's it. Or one of my good friends from Tennessee, who is also really into health, suggested that we take diatomaceous earth, mix it in our mineral water or our alkaline water, and swish that around in our mouth and then spit it out, because that has silicone in it. That's really good for your teeth. So it could be a combination of both, baking soda and
Do you have to
diatomaceous
spit
earth.
it out, or can you swallow it?
I used to swallow it, and then one of my friends was like, what if it's leaching all this stuff? If you have amalgam fillings,
Yeah, you're right.
then you probably want to spit it out. Yeah, I used to think, oh yeah, you could just swallow this, but yeah, probably not. So here's the directions that this dentist gave. You remove the cloves from the water, add the remaining ingredients, including the water, to a glass jar. Then you whisk it, or you could put it in a blender, and then use 1 tablespoon for a quick rinse. So if you'd like to make your own with turmeric, this is a pretty good recipe, I think. Okay, I'm back to the Food Babe. Replace processed ranch seasoning packets. Okay, we buy these because we think that they have all the seasoning we need. We don't have to go buy all the individual ones. Everything is in a packet with really easy directions on the back. But there is a ton of chemicals that they put in these seasonings. They don't even use like real, like if they're going to season something and make it taste like parsley, they don't even use like real parsley in there. They use this fake chemical thing that they made to taste like parsley. So if you look at these ingredients, these are the ingredients if you'd like to make your own ranch dressing for a dip. Buttermilk powder, dried parsley, onion powder, garlic powder, dried chives, dried dill, sea salt, and pepper. And you just mix all that together. I usually use coconut milk to mix it inside to make it creamy. You can use regular raw milk if you want, or any other type of non-dairy milk if you're not doing dairy. And then you can keep that in the fridge for up to a week. Use it as your ranch dressing. This is another delicious salad if you're into doing salads. Strawberry crunch salad. It's always nice to have something a little bit sweet in the salad, and that for so many years that's been substituted with all these sweetened salad dressings, but you could just put actual fruit in there and it really increases the flavor. So this one has avocado, cucumber, radish, goat feta cheese, strawberries, spinach and mixed greens, almonds, and this is very similar to Wendy's salad except for it doesn't have all the chemicals in it. You're putting everything, you're making it so you know exactly what ingredients are going in there, and you can make like this homemade vinaigrette. They have tons of recipes for this stuff online, so you don't have to buy the super expensive salad dressings that are all based with either corn syrup, canola oil, or other things you don't want to have in your body. Okay, so kitchen. We had to switch these out several years ago when our naturopath came to our house and saw that we were using some Teflon pans to cook in. Teflon is horrible for you. If you don't know that, like we didn't know, you should switch out your pans immediately. You could do stainless steel, but our naturopath recommended doing a cast iron pan. I think I've spoken with some of you that are already doing this, using cast iron to cook with. Instead of plastic for containers, like Noble's taught on before, the dangers of plastic, they do have the glass containers out there now that just have like a silicone lid. So that's a safer way to store your food, especially if you're putting hot food in it. Every time you put something hot or do something, put plastic in the microwave or you put hot food in a plastic container, you're going to have some leaching and chemicals from the plastic in the food. That's why they're recommending the glass. Instead of bleach paper towels, you could try organic cotton towels, and they're probably a lot more expensive. I have not tried these yet, but it's a way to not give our money to these huge corporations that make all of these things, and they make it on purpose, I think, so that you cannot reuse it. Here's some more healthy kitchen swaps. Instead of dyed and scented dish soap like Dawn, you could try a non-toxic, fragrance-free, and dye-free dish soap. Instead of using Teflon cooking pans, make sure you could try stainless steel or that cast iron one. Here's a few more. Instead of foil, you could try unbleached parchment. That's what we've been using. I like parchment actually a lot better than foil, just because food doesn't stick to it, and it's great to bake things in. You don't have to scrub the pan later on. Everything's stuck on the pan. Everything is on the parchment paper. It allows the food to be cooked, and then you can throw it away afterwards. Instead of plastic bags, try using reusable silicone bags. And I've seen these online. They have these on Amazon to purchase, on eBay. Maybe you know somebody who's selling these. This is a really good option because the silicone does not leach into the food like plastic does. Instead of plastic cooking utensils, this is another thing we switched out for the most part. Try organic bamboo utensils or wooden spoons. That's something that like our grandparents, our great-grandparents always cooked with. And then we've gotten into using all of these plastic things. That's all by design to get more and more plastic in our food. Okay, feed it, don't kill it. In other words, this is the fermented foods. Fermented is so good for your upper intestine, and our naturopath was telling me too that if you could keep your upper intestine healthy, you're more likely to have the rest of your body healthy. And you can do that by eating a lot of fermented foods. So you can see on the left side there, kimchi and sauerkraut. You can actually buy probiotics and take them. You can eat yogurt, kombucha. My personal favorite is kefir.
I was about to say, where's
Kefir
the
every
kefir?
morning. I do kefir every morning when I take my supplements, and that just kind of gets my stomach ready for the day, and then you end up just feeling a little bit better throughout the day.
Yeah.
You start out right.
Things are easier to digest after like a month.
Yeah, about a month of kefir, right?
Yeah.
Now, I used to do the ones on the right side. I used to start my day with a Diet Coke and granola bar that was probably mostly sugar, and wondered why I felt so horrible all day. So on the left side, you can see all these already. You don't need to do any of that. It's better to do more of the ones on the left, or the natural fermented foods and drinks. All right, we're going to talk about Taco Bell for a little bit. This is the last fast food place that I stopped eating at about 2 years ago. I used to love these drinks too. Taco Bell comes out with some really good ones with Mountain Dew, and of course, they make it like that way so that you do love it and you want to crave it and you want to come back and have some more. Yes.
Just a minute, got a question.
Okay.
What if you cover pot pie with aluminum foil? What is the alternative?
Justin Mack, that's a good question, and we still do use aluminum foil. I don't think it's bad to cover things with it or to use it to bake, but if you're going to put something on top of aluminum foil when you could substitute parchment paper to put a food on top of it you're going to bake, then I think that's more appropriate. Like we still use aluminum foil to cover a lot of things and to bake and to fry things, to store food. But for the most part, if you're going to bake it, parchment paper is the way to go. Okay, I hope that answered your question. So here's Taco Bell, high fructose corn syrup, yellow number 5, blue number 1, yellow number 6. They have all these chemical colors just to make the food look delicious.
How dare they poison me with such goodness?
I know, right? Then there's white flour in the tacos, carrageenan, cellulose gel, cellulose gum, cellulose powder, and soybean oil. So this is something that you probably don't want to consume in your temples. Steve told us about this last week, and I found this post, and I was like, I have to put this up to show Stevie, yes, you are right. It's probably a good time to stop buying Bragg. Just because of the person who bought it is a demonic entity. I hate to say that, but
You're not wrong.
This is Katy Perry. I don't know if how many of you heard of this singer. Katy Perry recently purchased Bragg. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure. I mean, I've seen these little refreshers coming out. This is what she's promoting. Is she makes this prebiotic thing, and this is actually on the shelves, like down to earth at our health food stores. But the difference is that after this person bought this company and started promoting these refreshers, these little drinks and teas and everything, the vinegar itself is not near as strong as it was before. Like there's hardly any of that thing they call the mother at the bottom where you can make it over and over. So for another alternative, I wish I could actually say a brand that was really good because I haven't tried any other ones yet. But you can make your own, and I've talked to some other friends online who make their own. I'm sure if some of you guys make it on your own, please put it in the chat what you do, because I've seen anything from just using the peels in a closed container to actually chopping up the entire apple and mashing it and then putting it in the container with alkaline water. So if you have a good recipe for it, please put this in the chat. But just so you guys know, Bragg has been bought out. Okay, but there are some good things you can drink, the benefits of drinking red. And when Ginger was staying here at our house, she was asking me questions about how she can improve her blood flow because she was having a lot of issues with that thing that was on the side of her neck, the growth on her neck. And to get blood flowing through there so it could get the infection out, so it could rinse the infection out, have her get it out of her body.
Madonna, Katy Perry, same thing.
So funny. All right, so here's some of the red things that you can eat, and you can drink this juice, and this will improve the quality of your blood. This also supports your skin, memory, prostate, urinary tract, and DNA health. They protect against cancer and heart disease. Again, make sure it's organic. Do not get seedless watermelon, although it's a lot easier to eat. I just was reading an article about how the best seeds for you to eat are watermelon seeds. They have so many vitamins and nutrients and minerals in them. I could see why like Monsanto and Gates and friends wanted to get that fruit, wanted to target that fruit first to make sure they could get all the seeds out so nobody could plant them anymore, to plant the good ones anymore. All right, pomegranate, there's plenty of seeds there. Grapefruit, beetroot, strawberries, raspberries, cherries, tomato. Those are just some suggestions, but there's a reason why the Most High made all these fruit and vegetables red, so there'd be a signal like this is going to help your blood. All right, I have had actually my entire life until I can remember, all the way back since I was about 3 or 4 years old, I've had issues with sleeping, and still trying to get all that under control. Not using pharmaceuticals anymore to sleep. Here's a good recommendation from the Food Babe again. Did you know that studies have found that eating a handful of pistachios before bed can help to promote a good night's sleep due to significant amount of melatonin content? I just wanted to share that because I wasn't aware of that. Pistachios are really good for you. Make sure you get the organic kind. And here, going back to the apple cider vinegar. Okay, we're not going to buy Bragg. We're going to buy something else or make our own. But you can make a cider vinegar detox. 1 glass of water. This is alkaline water, of course. 2 tablespoons organic ACV. 1 or 2 tablespoons raw honey. Notice they say raw. 2 tablespoons lemon juice, and I would make sure that the lemons are organic or you grow them yourself. And 1 tablespoon cinnamon. And that makes a really delicious drink.
Hold on.
Yes. Yes?
And took a picture.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what you're doing. I was just taking a picture of the screen. Okay. This one is a good one. I was so excited to find this list on the Food Babes website. 20 tips for chronic inflammation. At this point, if you've ever eaten fast food or processed or packaged food in your life, or especially in the last few months, there's a good chance you have inflammation going on. The symptoms, look at these symptoms. Bloating and passing gas, belching, burning skin, dark circles and bags. I think they're talking about the eyes, not like bags, other bags. Itchy ears and eyes, diarrhea, constipation, cramping, joint pain or stiffness, muscle spasms, twitching, fatigue, memory problems, rash, hives, acne, scaly, rough skin, cough or sore throat, stuffy or runny nose, loss of appetite, fever or chills, headache, puffiness, edema, or water retention.
And if you have any of these symptoms, please call your doctor.
Don't call your doctor. There's remedies you can do right at home. Okay, the first one, zinc. Increase your zinc content. I would not take zinc straight though. When I take zinc straight, I end up throwing up about half an hour later. But if you could get magnesium and zinc combination, that usually helps because the magnesium makes your stomach not feel like you're gonna barf. But yeah, you need zinc in your diet. Fresh fish and fish oil, like the omega-3, vitamin D, probiotics, organic no GMO foods, an allergen-free diet, only coconut and palm oil. I wouldn't agree with that though. I would only just say coconut oil and avocado oil instead. No trans fats, exercise regularly, yoga and deep breathing. I wouldn't say do the yoga, deep breathing, yes. Meditation, as long as you're meditating on the words of the Most High God, yes. Biofeedback. I have some experience with that from when I was a psychologist, and I would just say be very careful with that area. Massage, make sure you know the person's putting the hands on you. No microwave, basic greens, omega-3 fatty acids, spices, ginger, rosemary, turmeric, oregano, no refined sugars, antioxidants, and electrolyzed water, which is like the alkaline water. It's been zapped with electricity, so it's actually live, living water in your body.
It has negative ions,
Yes,
instead of positive.
Yes, negative ions. This is kind of cool. I just found this too when I was looking online. What happens when you put a lavender plant in your room? The scent from lavender plants help to deter moths, flies, fleas, mosquitoes, ants, and spiders. And they can also help you with relaxation and calming. Just thought that was like a little random note to put in here.
Oh no, we're gonna have lavender plants all over the house now.
Do you like the smell? It
I
smells
do.
pretty good. It smells pretty good.
Yeah, the fleas are gonna be no more.
Yep. Herbs for organs. For your heart, hawthorn extract. And you can screenshot this if you're watching on your phone, or take a picture of it on your computer or your TV. And you can study this because this is a lot of information. But I like it how that they show each organ and things that can improve your organ. So for the heart, there's a hawthorn extract, lungs, mullein extract, bloating, organic coconut, activated charcoal, liver, milk thistle. This is what Noble taught on the other day. Kidneys, dandelion or chanca, piedra extracts. Kidneys is also anything real bitter, like bitter melon. That's something awesome for your kidneys. Urinary tract, cranberry, D, mannose, oregano extract, colon, ginger, aloe, cascara, senna extracts, and talking about doing a lot of this right before you go to bed. Brain, help your brain power. Lion's mane, I've heard of that one. That's a really cool looking mushroom. It actually looks like a lion's mane. Eye, sea buckthorn oil, Sinus black seed oil. That's a really good one. That's something that everyone was recommending for us when we all got the flu earlier this year, last year around this time. Black seed oil is great for your lips. Shea butter, cocoa butter. For your ears, lion's mane extract again. Teeth, coconut oil, activated charcoal. They do have the toothpaste you can buy that's already made with the activated charcoal. You brush your teeth, you smile, it looks really scary in the mirror afterwards with the black teeth. I usually just use regular coconut oil based toothpaste, and I can make it my own. Coconut oil, baking soda, diatomaceous earth, a little bit of peppermint drops, and you have toothpaste right there. And for joints, curcumin, turmeric. That's something I've been giving Noble a lot because of his knees.
Curcumin.
Yes, curcumin. Did you know that honey is the only food that will not rot? And I have to add to that, besides a McDonald's hamburger. You can put a McDonald's hamburger in your garage and it'll still look the same the next year. Like no bugs will even go for any of that junk. Okay, a jar of honey may remain edible for over 3,000 years.
Right?
Yeah, Marva was telling me a really cool way to preserve the honey. When it gets to this crystallized state, Marva was telling me, if you're in there, if Marva is watching right now, then you can let people know in the chat what you were telling me about the honey and how it can stay preserved. I thought that was really good information. All right, it's getting to be strawberry season in the mainland when things start warming up in May. I believe strawberries are one of the first fruits that come out in the mainland USA anyway. And these are great things for strawberries. There's heart protection. This is from a website called Wishing You Well Today. Cholesterol reducing properties, rich in heart muscle nourishing nitrates to keep arteries relaxed and flexible. Brain protection, healthy tissue growth, artery protection, weight loss, muscle protection, and blood sugar control. You remember how we were talking about all those red fruits for your blood? This is definitely one of them. Just make sure you get organic, or you can pick your own in different states that I've been to anyway. You can go to a farm, a strawberry farm, and just buy them straight from there. Just make sure that you know that they're organic, you know who grew them, and then you can also give them like a baking soda and alkaline water bath in a pot inside your sink. Speaking of cold and flu, I talked about the black seed oil that a lot of people were recommending for us last year when
Whiskey?
we all had the flu. What was that?
Is it whiskey?
Oh,
It's like whiskey.
it does kind of looks like a shot, right? But it's apple cider vinegar, not the Katy Perry kind, 1/2 a lime, 2 garlic cloves, and 2 slices of ginger. And this is for a quick relief. And I remember doing all of these things when we were all super sick last year for a few weeks. And this is one of the things that helps a lot. This cold and flu drink with ginger, garlic, lime, ACV, all really good stuff. Okay, this is from the dentist website I was looking at earlier, Rituals and Herbs for Healthy Teeth. If any of you have read my book, you'll remember that all of my, well, not all, most of my health problems started with my teeth. I had so many amalgam fillings in my teeth, it just affected my whole body. It was just breaking down. So here's some things you can do to keep your teeth healthy. And if you've listened to Noble's teachings in the past with Dr. Jerry Tennant of how your mouth is like a circuit board, your teeth help control your other organs, it's super, super important to keep your teeth healthy. And these are some things you can do. You could apply a tooth mask. There's a little recipe there. You can brush your teeth, then you finish with oil pulling. That's something that I did a lot, especially when I was having a ton of dental work done. The oil pulling is amazing to just get your teeth cleaned really, really well. And you can brush with it too. And here's some other things you can use. Clove oil. I can't even say that one at the top right. Can you say that, Isaac? Spilanthes, it looks like. It's a toothache plant. I haven't heard of that one. Chamomile and yarrow. You can rinse with yarrow tea to stop bleeding gums, prevent infections. So these are some great things you can put in your teeth. Not Crest. We do not use toothpaste that has fluoride any longer, or mouthwash for that. Make sure you read the labels.
No fluoride.
I recently bought some of that Tom's toothpaste at Walmart, and Tom's is like a natural, it's made with baking soda, coconut oil, and peppermint, same stuff I used to make it with at home. They had a new brand that came out, and I should not have bought this because I have to return it. It's Tom's, but it's called Wicked. Isn't that weird? It's Tom's Wicked. And so I brought it home. I was so excited. I was like, look, it's a new flavor. And then Noble looked and he's like, you didn't read the ingredients. It says right here, a fluoride toothpaste. So I have to return it. Okay, I know I'm covering so many different topics here, but this is another one that we need to make sure to take care of our temples. I would even do this before you start taking any supplements, at least for like a month, just because the parasites, they love to eat the supplements too. And if you're taking nutritional supplements and minerals and eating really healthy food, but these parasites that live in our intestines and our liver and inside our bodies, if they're the ones eating it all and we're basically just digesting what's coming out of them, the nutritional content is so much lower. All right, so you need to make sure you can get rid of the parasites before you start with all of the vitamins and supplements. Otherwise, you're kind of just doing it for nothing. You're just throwing everything down the toilet. So these are some signs. If you have any of these: headaches, teeth grinding, night sweats, anemia, bloating, constipation, itchy anus, stiff joints, chronic fatigue, major food sensitivities, eczema and hives, or skin rashes, there's a good chance that you have parasites. So you can use some of these remedies that they have here at the bottom. Cloves help, wormwood, that comes in a tincture, black walnut hull, another tincture at your health food store. There are 3 herbs that can kill both adult parasites along with the eggs. I've used these before. I've used all 3 of these, but personally, my favorite is diatomaceous earth because it seems like it works faster. And I know some of you here in the chat have had experiences with diatomaceous earth. You maybe can explain and if anyone has questions in here about where to get it. I get mine on Amazon, and it just has so many health benefits. Like my hair all started growing back. My skin just started looking a lot better, more glowing. So that's the one I prefer. And here we're with berries, because it is getting really close to fruit season. These berries, this is from a plant romance site. Berries contain vitamin C, phenols, fiber, folic acid, antioxidants, a wide range of other phytonutrients, which collectively help lower the risk of cancer. The regular consumption of berries have been associated with a decrease in all-cause mortality, meaning berries increase longevity, helping us to live longer. This is another thing you can do to increase your blood flow, right? This is called dry skin brushing. And there's a little example of a brush you can use. They do have these at different stores, especially at like health food stores or homeopathy stores, naturopath type of stores. This is really good to do to increase your blood flow. It removes dead skin cells, it improves your circulation. The main thing that you want to make sure you do when you're doing a dry skin brush is you start with your feet and you work your way up. Everything is brushed toward your heart, not away from it. Okay, we're getting into talk more about magnesium here, and I have some samples of magnesium I'd like to show you, but first we're going to take a quick break, and I will be right back after the break so I can get everything set up. See you in a little bit. Hey, welcome back everybody. Thanks, I need to take a quick break and get something to drink. We're going to talk a little bit about magnesium, okay? This is because I personally have issues with this. I've dealt with this most of my life with a magnesium deficiency, and I didn't know what it was until recently. So did you know that muscle twitching or restless leg syndrome are brought about by low magnesium levels? So burning, itching, electric feeling, crawling sensations, aching, nighttime twitching. I deal with all of this stuff. I never knew how to stop it, but lately I've really, for anybody else that's out there that's dealt with like twitching legs or twitching muscles, now's the time to listen to this, okay? Number one, and this is from Hyalux.com. You'll have problems with cognition. A deficiency in magnesium in older adults can result in a number of cognitive difficulties, such as brain fog, memory problems, and difficulty concentrating. This is because your magnesium plays a vital role in helping your mitochondria function. Mitochondria are structures within the body's cells that are responsible for producing energy. Without enough magnesium, the mitochondria and brain cells have difficulty producing enough energy to power thinking processes. Another issue is constipation. If you have low magnesium levels, it can often lead to bouts of constipation. Magnesium works to keep you regular in a couple of ways. By helping to draw water into the intestines, magnesium plays a role in keeping stools soft for more efficient elimination. It also helps by keeping the muscle contractions of the intestinal tract regulated and working optimally. We don't eat enough magnesium-rich foods here in the U.S. Plus things like chronic stress, too much caffeine, that was my issues, and sugar and toxic overload can often deplete your magnesium levels and can make you constipated. The next one, muscle cramps and spasms. This is the main one I deal with. 30-40% of the body's magnesium is found in the muscles and soft tissues. It plays a huge role supporting your muscles. Not having enough magnesium can lead to painful leg cramps and spasms. Your muscles work by contracting and relaxing. Without enough magnesium, the muscle contraction and relaxation can become difficult and uncoordinated. Muscle spasms and cramps are often early signs of magnesium deficiency. Muscle spasms due to low magnesium are often felt in the feet and legs. Anxiety and stress. Because of its important role in the production of neurotransmitters, low magnesium can make you feel anxious, stressed, and irritable. Neurotransmitters are chemicals found in the brain that help your nerves communicate with each other, so anxiety is one of the biggest big magnesium deficiency symptoms. I want to read that again. Anxiety is one of the biggest big magnesium deficiency symptoms. All right, so if you have some anxiety here and there, magnesium might be a good way to help you. They help your body regulate a variety of behaviors such as sleep, thought patterns, moods, and more. Low magnesium can result in a variety of mood disorders, including anxiety, depression, irritability, and confusion. And this is another way to get your magnesium. You can actually sit in it. Once a week for 20 minutes, sit in a hot bath that contains a handful of Epsom salts, 10 drops of lavender essential oil, and a half cup of baking soda. This combo draws out toxins, lowers your stress level, related hormones, and balances your pH levels. All right, so there's several types of magnesiums. I'm just going to show you these. You can look at this chart. I don't have all of these on here. I have the glycinate. This is something that Isaac just started getting. Can you see this on there?
No, you're in the small camera.
Okay, you want to make it, can you make it bigger?
I'd have to cut that out.
Yeah, you can take that out. I'm just going to show these bottles. Okay, this magnesium glycinate.
I have to adjust the camera, so you're gonna need a minute.
Okay. While Isaac's setting this up, I'm going to just I'll read this so you guys can listen. Magnesium glycinate, it's good for those with a migraine. Glycine helps with sleep, anxiety, inflammation. It's not like a laxative, not like magnesium citrate. There's topical magnesium, that's magnesium chloride and sulfate. The chloride appears to have more healing properties than sulfate. You can do lotion, baths, or foot soaks with that, and you can combine this with another form of magnesium. So when I was looking at all the different types of magnesium, I was wondering which one of these do you think would be the best for me? But you can combine them too. So if you have any of the issues that I talked about before, it's better to combine. You ready? Okay. So I'm going to talk about, we have magnesium glycinate. This is from the Vitamin Shop. The Vitamin Shop is our go-to for buying brands. Oh, this way? This way.
Yeah, I just need you to, because you have it angled, so they can't really read it.
Okay, so closer.
I meant the bottom. Here, give me.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
it's
circled
like
it.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So this is magnesium glycinate from the vitamin shop. If you get some of this. I take some of this every day, and then I take this at night before I go to sleep. This is magnesium citrate. This one works more for the intestines. It does have sort of a laxative effect, but it helps. It also helps me sleep a lot. And so I really like taking these magnesiums together. Then I got this other one. This is, which one is this called? This is strange. Oh, here, magnesium stearate. This is magnesium stearate. I usually take 2 of these twice a day, and it really helps with the muscles so they don't spasm like crazy like they used to. And if you really want to have a cleanse, you have to make sure you stay home for a few days if you're going to take this one. But this is called Homozone. And this one is, let's see, what is this called? Magnesium oxide. All right. So this has oxygen in it that is actually will put oxygen in your body, and a small teaspoon mixed with water will help your muscles to also relax so you can get a good night rest. Okay. So citrate, just remember citrate for digestion, glycinate for mood and sleep. What's this one here? Here's the citrate right here. I like the Now brand. It's a little bit less than other brands, and seems like it works just as well. Therinate is for cognitive function. Malate, I don't have some of these to show you what it looks like, but malate is for muscle pain. Taurate is for heart health. Chloride is to relax your muscles. Sulfate is for muscle soreness, and oxide is for constipation. So what are some other foods you can eat that have magnesium in it that will help to relax your muscles also? A major one is bananas. There's magnesium and potassium in bananas. So it's good to, if you do have issues with muscle spasms or with sleeping, it's good to eat like a semi-ripe banana about an hour before bedtime. It'll help your muscles to just relax. That's something I do anyway. In Hawaii here we have poi also, which is like a mashed taro root. I like to eat some of this before I go to bed too, just because it really helps all of your muscles to just relax. There's no sugar. Even fermented poi is even better. If you do have access to poi, like I'm sure Marvelly and Lance, I know you guys do, it's good. The best time to eat it is right before bed, and just maybe like half a cup. Or if you don't have access to poi, try a banana if you're having some issues sleeping. All right, most adults need between 300 milligram to 400 milligrams of magnesium daily. That's how much your body really needs this. So it's required for cellular energy production. And according to studies, most people are deficient, and I would say definitely here within the U.S. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this study. That's all the information I have to share today, and I'm going to go back and I'll look through the chat. I wasn't able to monitor very much today, and Noble is just taking a nap. He's kind of passed out right now. So thank you guys for all joining me here. I'm going to close this in prayer, and then we'll let you go on with your evening. Dear Father God, we thank you so much for bringing everyone here to study with me today about all the different nutritional protocols that we can do to maintain our temples that you've given us, Father God. We ask that you just be with everyone during this week, watch over them, and give them your peace, your shalom, Father God, that only you can provide. We ask all this in Yeshua's name. Amen. Thank you guys. Shaloha. One reminder, we don't have class this Saturday. Our cameraman is going to be off island, but I will see you guys at Digital Readers Club on Zen's channel, and then we'll see you again next week, Tuesday. Okay? Shaloha.